One chunk of Chillingham does indeed have ancient ghosts, but the curious thing is they're happy ghosts, terribly happy, and I think that that area of the castle, which is a very specific area of the castle, is packed with sort of spirits who literally do not want to move on because they're so happy here. I live in the castle and I have a due passion for it. The castle has been through the whole of English history, really. It's been taken and vanquished. It's then won. People have trotted out from here to the Crusades. People have trotted out to all the royal households. The kings and queens have been here in every single reign, every single century since the 1100s. And so we really are a bit of old England. I came to own the castle in rather a romantic way. About 30 years ago, I fell in love with it, and it just happened to have been in my wife's bloodline. And so it was ruined and it was flawless. And my own family had hoofed me out from our world. And so I was looking for somewhere romantic. And I put on roofs and floors to castles before, and so that was just perfect for me. It was God sent for me. That's how I got it. And weddings, well, rather like birds wheel around at the same time, and suddenly they move, you don't quite know why, you know. Suddenly all houses were taking to weddings and fighting amongst each other to give a better wedding, and we joined that flock really. And our weddings, they're very, very different from other people's, because some people, I think we're ghastly because we don't have the Holiday Inn feel. We don't have the gym and the sauna. But other people love us because we're a sort of chunk of history and something a bit different. But there's a price for everything, and if it's a nasty rainy day, we're not the ideal. But if we're a lovely day, it's as perfect as can be. And I love people coming here because when they come here for weddings, they come back for their remembrances, and they send their friends here, and all that's very happy for us. How is the wedding organised here and use of the building? Really, it depends on what people need. Sometimes we have just people with their own family only, and then we can have sort of dinner in one of the long galleries, and that's very atmospheric and they're very happy. Sometimes we have 100 or so people, and they can feed in our minstrels' hall or our great hall.
This is the minstrels' hall. This is set out as a tea room at the moment because of our regular tourist visitors. It makes a lovely room for a small wedding up to about 40 people, and we have 2 long tables, which makes it really quite intimate. This is the great hall. This can seat up to 100 people. This is where we have our wedding ceremonies. A lot of people like to get into this sort of the theme of the castle, getting dressed up sort of in medieval costumes and really take in the history of the castle. It's a lovely room with plenty of atmosphere, and after the ceremony this room then turns around for your reception.
And we have flowers and singers and tapestries and trumpets and all those things, and we can lay on the trappings, and that's fantastic. At other times, if they are even bigger again, we can have a marquee, and they can do all their splendid things in the marquee, and then they come into the castle and pick up the atmosphere of that. And we've got a wonderful courtyard, which has very good acoustics, and we have singers and players there. And I think one of the most important things is our gardens. We have lovely gardens. I think, like a Prime Minister copes with foreign affairs by having a wonderful foreign secretary. And I've got a most marvellous lady. She finds out what people want, and she's got beautiful children of her own, and so she knows all that sort of thing. And she finds out over the year or the 6 months that we have the thing booked exactly what people like, and they seem to ring her up the whole time. And she finds out if you want a 4-course meal or a 6-course meal, or if you want sandwiches on the side, and she looks after your individual interests. And so whether you want a ball or whether you want to go out in the hills, Julie sorts that out, and you talk to Julie. and you'll see what I mean. I think we get the more romantic people, that they come from all walks of life. I pick up these people sometimes. I do a bit of mountaineering I have in my life, and I pick them up there, and word goes round. So we have people from that world, from the horse world, and from the musical world. They're different worlds which I love, and people trundle here, and their friends trundle here, and people come here by chance, you know. But it's romance more than cash. I mean, when I first came here, an exorcist came along and said there were too many for me to cope with, and 5 years later he came back and said, well, don't worry, because they're all fighting for you. And I think they sort of do fight to get the weather right. They fight for one. One has a whole sort of spiritual support. And so if you worry about those things, you find that you're very happy with it all. And if you don't worry about those things, well, you just have a beautiful house. My ghostly goings-on are purely supportive ones. I mean, I haven't been frightened out of my pants by chuntering people with chains. It's always been hugely helpful, and curious coincidences that sort of couldn't happen without that aspect of it all. So I've been nothing but encouraged if I have alarm bells ringing because of no tourists or no this or no that. I almost feel they're going to come and help if I get attacked by the revenue or whatever. I feel they'll shrivel into their graves early. That sort of thing. I have great faith in them.